Side Scrollers is brought to you by you. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers. It's time for Side Scrollers on YouTube.com. With me, Stuttering Craig. You got a goal? Go get it. Adam Krigler.
Hi, buddy.
Blab.
Hi, chat. I love you. Mwah.
And producer extraordinaire, Travis Key.
Hi, guys.
And brought to you by you, the G2 community at patreon.com/sidescrollers. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and Twitch.tv. What's going on, everybody? Hey, Stuttering Craig. Happy July 5th, everybody. Welcome to the #1 video game and entertainment podcast on planet Earth. It's Side Scrollers. Man, I'm tired. I'm July 4th out, but man, do we have a good show today. The entire crew is here, including a wonderful guest, which we haven't seen in a while, and I'm very happy to have her back. But first, speaking of people, I'm excited to have back. No trees on the house or anything. Hello, Travis. How are you?
Still trees on the house.
Still trees on the house, but
Still
internet
trees
is
on
back?
Yes. Yeah.
Is there like a giant hole in your roof?
No, actually, it's like teetering off of the top of the house. It's I can't go in the backyard because it might fall on me.
So you have a like a teeter-totter on literally on your roof for like woodchucks and stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I've been waiting for it to fall.
Oh. Bizarre. All right. Hopefully everything turns out all right, and nobody dies when that falls. Speaking of somebody who loves woodchucks, it's Blabs.
I love woodchucks. What?
Just go with it, Blabs.
How much could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Lots. Also joining us
Lots.
today, the biggest patriot I know, who even though he's from Sweden, living in Sweden, probably lit off more fireworks than anybody I know. It's got to be Adam Krigler.
I actually couldn't find fireworks. I tried. I actually drove around looking for fireworks because nothing was closed yesterday, right? It's not a holiday here. So I drove around and the biggest thing that I could find was actually these sparkler sticks. They're just giant sparkler sticks. I don't know what that stands for, but they're king size.
Bet you miss Walmart now, huh?
No,
Oh.
I don't.
Wow.
Although I gotta say, Walmart has really good pickles.
Oh,
Okay.
what do you
I'm
mean?
serious. Maple, they're like spicy maple pickles. I miss those. It's the only thing I go to Walmart for is their Walmart brand pickles. Amazing.
Oh, okay. I was
get
gonna say
it.
I get it. I get it.
What?
Well, no, first off, I didn't know that Walmart made their custom pickles.
Oh my gosh.
They
I
did.
didn't know.
They make their own pickles, and they're slamming.
Yeah, they're Sam's Club pickles.
Sam's Club and Walmart, same people.
Yeah.
You know, this is important information you get on Side
Isn't
Scrollers.
Sam Club's, Walmart, and BJ's also in the same group?
I don't know. I don't miss Walmart though. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I mean,
the food,
I don't.
the
yeah,
food here
why
is
would
incredible.
You miss like the Oompa Loompas and all that, but they have a great selection of fireworks. It's like, oh.
Going to Walmart is like going to the zoo for humans. It's like the exotic humans that aren't out in regular
That's like the
world.
city Walmarts, though. If you go to the more country, rural ones, they're more normal.
Sure, I've been
Where
to
do you live, Blabs?
I've been to the country
I won't
Walmart's,
tell
Blabs,
you.
and that's bullshit.
My Walmart's pretty normal except for one dude yesterday who was ranting about tires to the manager. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm
All
like,
right.
I wouldn't say the country Walmarts I've been in are more normal. Than,
I'll tell you.
Well, look, there's really only one person who can truly handle this quandary we have, this query, and that is Carolyn. Kara, how are you?
I'm good. I'm already into this riveting conversation about Walmarts and like, did you guys ever like look at the People of Walmart site growing up?
Yes, of course.
There's a website.
Of course, yes.
Oh,
Are we doing
And
this?
as somebody who lives in the middle of nowhere, and it's very country farm based town, our Walmart's pretty normal.
See? Hey, I'm
Agreed.
not lying. When you live by the farmers, it's a lot more tranquil. You find the odd one every so often because you're always going to find an odd one out, but it's a lot more normal and people are a lot more polite.
I don't
people
agree.
At Walmart. Just saying. People at
I
Walmart.
don't agree. I've lived in the country as well, and I've been to Walmarts in
That's
the
what
country.
Maybe you
happens
just
when
live
you
in a weird area.
go
I
into
don't
a
know what to tell
city.
you. Ah!
yeah, the flesh-colored clothing, that's my limit. Like,
Why would you do this to your viewers, Craig?
What is that?
This is one of the most popular websites on the internet in the early 2000s. Was
It
people of Walmart.com. Just saying.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, right. It is fascinating. You never know who's going to show up at Walmart, except you do have a pretty good understanding of who's going to show up at Walmart. So, look, we got a lot going on today. We're trying something a little different today. I asked everybody to get together, and we're all going to talk about one thing that we care about today in hard news today. So, Blabs will take a little bit, and Adam will take a little bit. I'll take myself, yeah, so we're going to try things a little different today and kind of go see how it goes. If you guys are watching over on YouTube or on Rumble, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button. We'd greatly appreciate it. I don't know if the thumbs up actually does anything on Rumble, but it looks good, I guess. So if you wouldn't mind doing that. More importantly, hit the follow button over there as we are approaching 2,500 followers over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Thank you guys very much for your support and showing up over there. Also, we have Twitter, which you guys can follow us over there, which hopefully we fit your 600 post limit as you're scrolling through on a day-to-day basis. Has anybody actually reached that 600 post limit? No.
Well, I have a check mark now, so I believe I have a 10,000 tweet limit. Plebs.
I just go on Twitter enough to reach a limit.
Yeah, I don't think I would even hit the limit anyway. I don't
I try to
spend
avoid.
nearly as much time as I used to on Twitter.
Just the constant doom scrolling. We also have Instagram as well, right, Blabs?
We do. You know, we're getting close to 300 if we didn't pass it already. Let's look if my phone wants to unlock. Keep going. I'll find out.
when is
Okay, so-
Instagram gonna put in their view limit?
I don't know. It has to do with like data scraping and all that. I don't even know what that means, but
We are 282 followers.
nice.
That's pretty
So-
cool. Guys, we have an Instagram, and it's located in the description below, or you can just find us at Side Scroller Podcast.
Sounds good. And today at 1 o'clock or shortly after today's show, I encourage everybody to be here because today is the day for Blabs versus Castlevania.
You really want to beat it?
This is it. She literally has one thing to do, and that
I
is
know.
beat. She is at the final boss after 2 months of playing. This is week 8. Blabs is at the boss, Dracula, and all she has to do is spend the next 15 hours of her life beating
Yeah.
Dracula because it is.
You make it sound like I've been working on this for 2 months. It's day 8 of 8 days.
Right,
Just in a span of 2 months.
of 2 to 3
I'm
hour
not a pleb.
streams.
Wasn't the last time you streamed that all you did was fight Dracula?
No, I did the little part beforehand. Give me some credit.
I
And then
don't know.
the
I was
rest
just
of the stream
asking.
was Dracula.
So how many hours would you say was you facing Dracula?
Was it like 2 hours last week?
2 for sure.
What is
Yeah,
that? Who does
2.
that for 2?
it's a 2.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
weird.
2.
That's
Never
the
do that
that's
again.
the devil's 2.
2.
Well, I
2?
mean, it is Dracula.
3. This is how.
This is 3.
Yes.
You're weird.
Wait, you use your thumb for 3?
Yeah, thrice.
This is the Euro way of doing it.
Yes,
I
this
am
is
This-
European.
this is 3.
normal.
I am
3
European,
in
so I
Europe.
guess it is.
Normal.
Are you?
I have a citizenship in Europe, so yes.
That doesn't
I
mean
won
you're
over
European.
Adam right there.
No, you didn't. No, you
Yeah.
lost points
Why?
because you just put words in my mouth and I don't like it.
Okay.
We have so look, we're gonna be live at 1:00 today. So make sure you
Yeah.
guys show up for that. This is a
Show
very
up for
big
the
day.
pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And-
painful. I was watching last time and
Thanks, Adam.
It's rough. It's a journey, right?
hey, I'm honest. All right, you can always expect honesty from me, and you'll never be disappointed.
It is a journey. Like that's the thing. We're at the tail end of the journey, and there's going to be pain before pleasure, right?
Yep.
But when you get that pleasure, it's going to be you're going to feel like nothing like you've ever felt before, Blabs. You're going to feel sweet release, and you're just going to be yes, thank goodness, and you'll feel accomplishment for
Yeah.
the first time in your life.
Oh, it took 27 years, right?
Hey, speaking of accomplishment, since we last spoke to Kara, actually, I think you had just been brought on maybe to Ripperverse.
The
But
day I was coming on here
You'd
was
yet to announce
the
it,
day I accepted the job.
there it is.
right? But I don't think you publicly announced it.
I
at
had
that
not
point.
publicly announced it until that next week or so.
Right.
So
Craig was the
Obviously-
first person that I told.
let's go. I can keep secrets, everybody. All right, but it was a big deal. Obviously, you've joined Ripperverse, which has been great, and things have blown up. How about you fill everybody in on what's going on with that? How it's been a massive success.
Oh gosh. So we actually just hit, I'm pulling it up right now. We
I got
hit
it.
$1.7 million in sales so far. And this is we're still rolling out stuff. Like we just announced, or we just rolled out the mass print cover D, I think just a couple of days ago. We have sold almost, let's see some math. We're almost at $15,000 or 15,000 per different people. And
that's crazy.
it's been an absolutely insane campaign. It has been nuts. And then we also rolled out the option to donate books. We're working with Comic Books for Kids. So we are offering books at a discounted price to be able to send those to kids. I was a kid that was in the hospital a lot growing up, and one of the worst things is boredom. So any type of entertainment is gold to these kids. So even if we're able to provide something, I think it's helpful. And I believe they're donating them to children, and then also some of our troops overseas for entertainment who are downrange, that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. So I actually, you're working with Eric, and the whole idea behind Ripperverse is to kind of shake up the comic book world, right? The industry as a whole, and just kind of do it the non-woke stuff, and it's obviously seen a lot of success. I saw some people who were literally upset that you were donating books to children. How does that happen?
They're people who are sad and who have probably never done any form of charity themselves. And typically those kind of people don't like seeing others' success at something. They don't like seeing others succeed at something that they probably didn't do as well in. So that's up to them. They have a right to their emotions, but saying that things are a scam whenever it's not is very misguided. But
What's the old
it's
saying?
just exhausting.
The old saying, haters gonna hate, right?
Haters gonna hate. Where's that
Haters gonna
Pikachu gif when you need it?
That's right. Well, congratulations with ISOM #2. So it's been a year since ISOM 1, and the first campaign was $3.5 million. It was just insane, and this one's at approaching 2 now, and by the time it's all said and done, it'll be everything all right over there. Oh, look at that!
Yeah, there we go, Adam.
Look at that.
I haven't gotten the second one yet, but I plan on getting it. I got to complete the collection,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you do.
Nice. So, and I'm sure you guys are probably already hard at work at ISOM 3 and 4 and 5 and just
Do you
further
get to know
branching down the
anything
line.
in advance? Like, as being an employee, do you know any like little tidbits that you're not allowed to say? Like,
I
obviously
could
there's
if I
NDAs.
asked. I could if I asked, but
But you don't really care. I get it.
I'm here to help the customers on that end of stuff. That's more my focus. Having some insight into what I should be prepared for upcoming is nice. But I don't know anything about stories that are coming out for like Alpha Core or Yaira. And like we have the writers, both of those. I know Chuck Dixon is already done with Alpha Core, which is going to be releasing. I think our next campaign for that's going to be like probably in the winter of this year.
And Alpha Core is another, for those not familiar, Alpha Core is a spinoff or is a separate?
Yes, it's going to be a spinoff. The fantastic sarcastic showed. I had made this sign for Drunk 3PO's stream yesterday. I was like,
There it is.
I completely forgot that was sitting here next to me.
Awesome. Well, so obviously a lot of success. Congratulations to you guys. Like, way to go. We're glad you're with us today. It's gonna be fun, just like old times. Just like old times. Be good. Because you were one of the first people on the show. Like, I think within a couple
I think it was
weeks
the second episode.
Yeah. Like super early on. It was great. So you're an OG when it comes to the side scrollers.
Oh,
family, which is
yeah.
great. Let's read off a couple super chats before we get into the hard news. Retro Jim says, Craig, you will never leave the DSP vortex. That's
Okay.
fine. I'm okay with being a part of the lore. Thank you, Retro Jim, and just keep sucking me back in. We have Extra Zero says Adam gets down with pickles like Flawed gets down with glizzies. Memes incoming.
Bring
Let's
it.
go.
Oh, he
Cool.
did.
Oh. Colt Seaman says, Blabs, today is the day. This is your Rocky moment. Not Rocky 1. We're talking Rocky 2. Don't let your country down. Kick Dracula's balls with the power of Guam. There you go, Colt. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And Jonathan came in with the $5 super chat. Says, reason why Banjo is dead because Xbox doesn't want to give it to someone else, knowing they would do it better than them. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit, Jonathan. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But right now, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for
Hard news.
All right. Like I said, we're gonna do our best to change things up a little bit. So, Adam, this is what you wanted to talk about, and you fire away first.
Are you gonna pull up the tweet?
Sure.
Or okay? So I saw this the other day, and we've made fun of Kotaku. Kotaku is trash. Let's be real.
We
And
all gotta say that banner that said they had no journalistic integrity was very spot on.
No,
Yeah, hilarious. What event was that at? I don't remember.
Oh,
Craig,
that was
you
at
remember?
MagFest.
MagFest?
yes.
Mhm.
And then they came out and apologized. Oh, we're sorry for hurting people's feelings because
Right.
we're
We
coddling
got bullied.
people with thin skin. So Final Fantasy 16, love it or hate it, it's doing fairly decent. People seem to enjoy it, even though I have seen some reviews that people are just, this is a trash game, like really bad. And I'm like, wow, like I wasn't expecting that. I enjoyed the demo. I thought the demo was completely clogged full of cutscenes. We kind of talked about cutscenes because Baldur's Gate, is it Baldur's Gate 3? It's going to have like 150 something hours of cutscenes, which is just bonkers. And I think it ruins the flow of a video game. It takes you out of it. Certain games do it well. I don't have any to list right now, but Final Fantasy 16, it's out and about right now. People are playing it. And it turns out there's a gay character, and that doesn't bother me. And it didn't seem to bother anyone. I haven't heard anyone talk about like, oh, I'm so upset that there's a gay character, because no one cares. Mainly because it wasn't thrown in your face. They just happened to be gay, and you find out. I haven't played the game myself, so I don't know exactly how it's introduced, but I haven't seen anyone write anything about it, like negative, except Kotaku. And what did they write? Well, Final Fantasy XVI's gay romance fails to commit where it counts, as they have put it. And what they are meaning here is, well, it wasn't gay enough. It wasn't flamboyant enough. It wasn't in your face. It wasn't shoved into the story to be a part of it all, because that's what they want. They want full representation for maybe like flamboyant or something. I'm not really sure. I like the way it sounds like it happened. Like it's part of this. It's not part of the story. It just happens to be a character, because that's not really the important part of the person, right? They just happen to be gay, like, which is fine, right? I mean, gay people exist, and they're not all flamboyant. They could look like any. They can act like anyone. Morals and being gay they're not the same thing. It has nothing to do with that. People can be gay, right? And there could be characters that are gay that you don't even know that they're gay, and that's okay. But Kotaku and it's not just Kotaku. It's like all this, these activists that are trying to inject woke ideology into the entertainment space, and Kotaku, it's just so on par for them, don't you think?
Yes, this is not the first time or last time we'll see Kotaku do this. And, it's funny, as Payphone says, they don't even make a big deal out of it in the game at all. I figured it out reading the character profile in game after a scene. It's like, so you see, it's like they want somebody to be like, I'm here, hello, like the absolute ridiculous, over the top caricature of it, and it's like
they want the sexualization representation. They don't want just the gay representation, but like the best kind of representation is the subtle one that is organic and fits with the story.
Right. Same thing happened with Destiny 2, actually. There had been a gay character since the vanilla Destiny 2, Devrim K. And he's a cool character. He's a sniper. He's very stoic in many ways, and I always liked his character. And if you read the lore on some gun that actually like pertains to him, you find out that he's actually gay. And I'm like, oh, interesting. That's it. Never had a second thought about it. And then Bungie started going down this road of like, we got to make all these different characters gay, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, all of these everyone's gay now. Like, everybody's gay, and it's like, oh gosh, like putting Saint 14. I know this is, you guys don't know what I'm talking about here, but Saint 14 and not Saladin, whatever the hell the guy's name. I can't even think of it right now, but I haven't played Destiny and I'm trying to put it out of my head, but it was so ridiculous. It didn't make any sense. Like they just did it just to shove it and like make it a part of the story, like Kotaku wants, right? They want that sexualization instead of like just making it normal. It like with Devrim, it was normal. With this character, it seems like it was just like a normal thing. Like it's not a big deal. It's just their character that has other characteristics that are worth focusing on. What does that sound? You guys hear that? Yeah, and that's what we should be doing. We should be recognizing that it's about the character of the person. It's the morals of a person. That's the important part, not the fact that they're gay. Who gives a shit? What does it matter who they want to sleep with? Osiris. Yeah, thank you, J. Rome. Saint 14 and Osiris. It was stupid. It made no sense. Here, drink this tea. Now let's make out. And it's like, what am I watching right now? Like this is the farthest I see in like a future apocalyptic world where aliens are trying to kill us, but like, let's drink some tea and make out. Like, this is weird.
I think what they really wanted was, like, if you remember back in the 90s and the 80s, late 90s, they would make a character on a game. They wouldn't say he's gay, but he's so obviously over the top gay. You know what I mean?
The flamboyance.
Yeah. And I think that's the type of character that they're going for. You know what I mean? Where, well,
yeah, because all gay people are flamboyant,
right?
Like,
right.
No, that's a stereotype, and it's not accurate.
Yeah,
Agreed.
it's something that we're certainly gonna. I mean, like you said it yourself, right? There are people who write for these outlets, right? Kotaku, Polygon, whatever. Pick any sort of, or the Gamer, right? These
Trash
journalistic,
websites.
right?
So,
Yeah, that
I'll say it.
No, I'm not even gonna say like journalistic gaming journalists. Yeah, trash websites, right? They might as well be the National Enquirer of like video
Basically.
games, right? And their entire idea is to generate clicks. That's it. So what they do is they generate outrage, and they say, I can't believe it's like, and then people take a screenshot of this, they see it, and they go, it's more of the same. It's more of the same.
I see it like at least they're making headway, because they used to make all the stereotypical gay characters bad guys, and now they're not all bad guys. At least,
Wait, really?
At least, yeah, seriously. And I realized it as a kid growing up. But 90% of them were bad guys.
Can you I'm trying to think through. I can't really think of any off the top of my head like that. Trav, do you have any
list? Give me a second.
Yeah, sure. Because I'm trying to think through of any. Was the gayness bad? It's like you're gay, so now you're bad. It's crazy to see, and you see this with Kotaku, and you see this with the Gamer. The Gamer's pretty bad as well. But you see people in the space, they surround themselves, and they're projecting their personal experience or what they feel should be into this. And once again, this is supposed to be. This is a video game news site.
I'll give you a couple examples right off the top of my head.
Sure.
Birdo is one. Also,
Birdo?
Zelda, the weird, the guy who was the avatar to the sword. He was like a blue guy, over the top gay.
Birdo, yeah. So Birdo wasn't gay. That's the thing that they.
Yes, but he was made out to be gay.
So okay.
Back in the day, he was originally,
Well,
So
say
wait,
like Birdo,
the audience claimed that he was gay, but he wasn't from the developers? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. Back when I was growing up, everybody said he was gay, so I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they were just shitting on him like as a character, because back in the day they used to be like, oh, that's as an insult,
Right. So some people like that, and here it is. This is where you're getting it. Is the English manual for Super Mario Brothers 2 refers to Birdo as a male who thinks he's a girl and would prefer to be called Birdetta. Some interpret that as Birdo being transgender, which would make her the first transgender video game character. So, like that
weird sexual guy in Zelda. I think it was Twilight Princess.
Tingle.
Yes.
No, not Tingle.
There's
bad
Tingle,
guy.
and then there's the merchant.
No, the guy you fight. Let me pull his name up 1 second. But those are both. You guys are both correct.
Is Catherine in Japanese?
I don't know.
Great translation.
No. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I got to be honest. I never picked up on either of that, Trav. But maybe I'm not being.
Well, you ain't gay.
That's true. I guess. Yeah. So, all right. Let's continue. You got anything else on that, Adam?
No, I'm just tired of it all.
Yeah, it goes back to this here with such a great sign. Such a good sign, and I can't believe MagFest caved on it. Oh my gosh, they just caved and pulled it down. That was
To me, I feel like I haven't beat Final Fantasy 16 yet. I need to play more of it, but I'm okay. Like, it doesn't matter to me if it's a obvious, like, for one, it's a original character. So that doesn't bother me. Like, I had an issue with The Witcher season 3 where they swapped Jaskier or Dandelion, his sexuality in the show, which frustrated me because, of course, I've read all the books. I'm a huge Witcher fan. So I just hate it when they do it for the checkbox.
Yeah, it was
my biggest thing.
The white guy from Skyward Sword actually was the guy I'm talking about, the bad villain guy. He's like coming up behind Link, touching him and shit. Come on.
I don't remember, if I'm being honest. But
would you like? I'll give you the screenshot of when he sticks his tongue in his ear.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're good.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks, Trav.
We're good.
Yeah, we're okay. Blaz, let's go to your story next.
All right. Do you have it pulled up? Ready to
I
roll?
do. Yep, I got everything
Awesome.
pulled up.
So, do you guys know who Anthony Mackie is? I'm sure you guys do. He's
Yes.
the Falcon. He is now Captain America, even though I'm sorry, I think his portrayal of Falcon
He's
is
not.
10 times better than any other thing that he's going to be doing in Marvel.
He's not
2014
Captain
second
America.
Captain America is my favorite movie. No, he's not Captain America, but he's
It's a lie.
he is technically speaking on Disney's terms and all that. He came out and said that Harry had no black friends, and Harry is in Harry Potter, and that even Lord of the Rings there were no black people, and I'm just like, he's literally shitting on like stories and that were made decades and decades ago, and as Lord of the Rings like over was it like a century ago at this point. Based on European and like Christian mythology stories, so why would there be all these black people in there in these stories in the first place, right? Would you be going to Africa and like, there's not enough white people in Wakanda forever? Like, okay, like, all right. So he went and shit on Harry Potter when there's at least 4 characters in Harry Potter that are black that are pretty prominent too. Sure, they're not like the top characters and not the main priority, especially in the movies, when the books are like yay thick and you have to condense that and prioritize what's more important to get the plot rolling, right? So some of these characters were kind of slanted and shifted aside, but they're very prominent in the book. So Anthony Mackie 100% did not read the books. So, ignorant for that, for shitting on something you don't even know anything about. But it's hysterical because he's saying that Harry Potter had no black friends when he clearly did. So much so that his sister-in-law is black. His future sister-in-law is literally black, but no, he hates black people because he didn't hang out with them, even though they were there. So, like, the first character right there, Dean Thomas, he was a fellow Gryffindor student with Harry for 6 years, and he actually went to fight in the very last battle without a wand. He didn't have a wand to defend himself. He had to go and find one. Can you imagine showing up to war without any weapons? That's basically what this guy did because he was so badass. So yeah, and then he starts shitting on Lord of the Rings too. And then and then he was like, oh, if I make a skit, something about like Frodo being in the hood, what did he say? Yeah, Harry had no fucking black friends. Frodo walked across the entire universe and never met a black dude. I want to see Frodo in the hood, which if I ever do Saturday Night Live is going to be the first skit I'm going to do. It's just amazing right there how they do that. And it's like, do all black people were raised in a hood according to Anthony Mackie? Is that like what he's saying? Like, is he saying a neighborhood for a hood or like the ghetto, the hood? Because if he's saying the ghetto hood, which I kind of think he is because he said a lot of racist shit in the past, then he's basically just pinning all black people as poor and unable to be
a little
in
racist,
like any other.
isn't it?
Right? He's unable to make them in any other class, which is really funny because I actually looked up Anthony Mackie's background. And did you know that his dad did an entire empire? So they own a roofing company. They own like from scratch, right? So his dad owned his own company, but he's shitting on black people saying we're all from the hood. So like a whole empire. They have roofing. I can't remember what else there was, but there's like a list of things that they own. Like it's an actual empire. I think there's like even a food truck or something involved in there too. And it's just it's amazing.
Those are the American dream. His dad built an empire from scratch. It's like that's like the American dream right there.
It's like the coolest thing. I think it's so great that they built themselves out of nothing and have a great empire in Louisiana.
Not his dad, because Anthony Mackie clearly didn't.
Well, no, his brother also did something too. Like, yeah, he didn't, but like his family did. Like he was as a kid, he was working on the roofs in the summertime. I'll give him credit for that.
I'll just say he probably didn't grow up in the hood if his dad was making all that money. Just saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you be so like racist and shitting on Americans and all that when you like look what your family did, right? So it's just amazing to me. And he's always race baiting in the last couple of years, especially for the fact like being the new Captain America. So I'm just like, dude, shut up and freaking act on screen. That's what you paid for.
I see these actors that do this kind of shit because it happens all the fucking time. And these activists, whatever you want to call them, and like Richard Gere was on a boat with immigrants in the Mediterranean or some shit. And it's like, I keep seeing this stuff and I'm just wondering, is it a part of their contract? Is there like some sort of deal that they made that they have to, part of their job is activism, that they have to like go out and read a fucking script? Because that's what I think. I don't think these people actually give a shit at all. Like they don't give a fuck. Anthony Mackie, you think he cares? People were complaining that it was racist that they were not okay with him being Captain America. Well, yeah, because Steve Rogers is Captain America. Like it's weird that you're changing it because that's not the character. Just like Kara was saying, it's an original character. I have no problem with it. But when you change existing characters to suit your narrative, that's bullshit. And man, we know Eric July's got some epic rants about that shit. And if you don't know about it, you should check them out because they're great. And he's got some incredible points. Make original characters, but they don't want to risk it. They don't want to risk, the making of a new character. But risk is part of the American dream. You have to be able to risk. Like his dad probably made a risk at one point to start a business, and it turned out to be a good bet that he made. Because look at the empire he built.
And it's just ironic.
It's also tiresome, dude.
He's just shitting on Harry Potter, even though Harry Potter takes place in 1990s Scotland. You tell me the population there. Right. Scotland in 1990s. Like, hello.
It's the same thing with that movie, The Northman. When The Northman came out, they were trying to be I haven't seen it yet, actually. I really I have to watch it. Yeah, I hear it's good. And people were complaining there wasn't enough representation in it. And I'm like, what the fuck what do you mean? It's supposed to be like historically accurate about like Scandinavian Vikings. Like, I don't know if you know about Vikings, but most of them were pale as fuck. Because I know this from experience. It gets dark as shit in the wintertime here. All right? It really does. The sun just straight dips out for like 4 months. I miss you. No, it's out and loud and proud right now, but they're a bunch of white people. The Vikings. I mean, hello.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing with the new How to Train Your Dragon. They're making a live action of that, and the chick who's playing Astrid is Thandie Newton's daughter.
Yeah, that's
I don't know what that means.
She was Sarah in Last of Us.
When I was growing up, reading Harry Potter, never once did I think, man, they need a gay character in here to represent me.
I mean, there is one. There's Dumbledore.
Well, right, but that was later. But
no, it was always planned. It was just never announced.
Yes, they didn't say it in the books, is my point. Never once did I read it and think, well, I need to be represented, because I was represented. I related to these people. They didn't have to have my sexuality or my skin color or whatever to have me relate to them, if that makes sense.
Because it's not a characteristic that is something to aspire to. You don't see a gay character and be like, oh, I aspire to be gay. And it's like, no, you either are or you aren't, right? If someone, risks their life to save like a school bus from crashing and like all the kids are saved, and it's like, man, I aspire to be that heroic one day. That's something to look up to in a character of a person that's willing to throw themselves on the line to try to save someone else. Like, that's something to aspire to. Like, how do you aspire to be gay? It's like they want that. They want that on the screen. Like, that's something to be, I don't know, put on a pedestal. It's like, no, you either are or you aren't. And who fucking cares? Who cares? You can't change that. It's not something that you can work towards and be like a better gay than another gay. Like, you either are or you aren't. And like, who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah. So, like, based off of all these comments from all these actors, I'm really hoping that J.K. Rowling and the Warner Brothers execs kind of, like, stick to the story and don't just change the casting and races just because these people are like, meh, fist in the air, we don't have enough black people when it's, like, 1990s Scotland. Like, why?
It would be weird if there was a story where a person walked out and said, I'm just so proud to be white, and I'm so proud to be straight. People would be like, ew. God,
yeah,
that's
you're
weird. And guess what? I wouldn't like that. I think that would be fucking weird. I would be like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't like that they're focused on their race and the fact that they're straight. Like, who fucking gives a shit? What does it matter? So it's the same thing. Switch the color with a different color and switch the sexuality with a different one. It's like, it's the same thing. I don't like that. That's irrelevant to any story.
Travis said he'll be back in a minute. He says internet's dropping. But I wanted to kind of further this a little bit more, right?
Did I trigger Travis? Did
his internet just messed up. He's been dealing with it the last few days. But I want to go back. Let's go back to the 90s, right? Let's go back to some of the most popular shows on television.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Great show.
Martin.
I loved Fresh Prince, man.
In Living Color, A Different World, the Wayans Brothers, Moesha, Sister, Family Matters, the
Family
Jamie Foxx
Matters,
show, the Steve Harvey
I like
show,
Family Matters,
Hanging with Mr. Cooper, right? These are all shows that were primarily black shows, right? They had black leads, they had black families and such like that, right?
Dude, but Fresh Prince is amazing. Like, I loved that show growing up.
Okay,
it's still one of the best shows.
It's still great.
You go back and you watch the Fresh Prince. There's stories about family, adversity. There's stories about race. There's stories about all these things, right? It's a classic fish out of water, story, right? But when you think of the Fresh Prince, like people, diversity, or when you think of like how white people were represented in that show, it was always very snobby, richy, nerdy, stick up the butt, right? Like when he went to the school, it was always like, "Hello, Fred," and whatever. It was always your classic snobby style character, right? And it was funny, right? It was just funny. People didn't take it too seriously. And
no. Not only that, they didn't look at it as it's the white people. It was the people that were in those schools. It was a class thing.
Right.
It was the people that were in those schools, these class superiors that like treat themselves like we're superior. It's like, that's a class thing. That had nothing to do with the fact that they were white. It had everything to do with the fact that they were in these schools. Like, that's what they were pushing. And that's the way I took from it. Because it wasn't every white person. It was these people. And I was like, yeah, those would be snob. Like, yeah, I assume like there are those snob rich people out there that act like that. Snobby. You don't have to be white to be snobby. Carlton was snobby too, though. That's true. Yeah, that's true.
But
because you don't have to be white to be snobby. You don't. It's not about the skin color. And that's the beauty of that, is that there was that like difference of like Carlton versus Will Smith's character, right? They had this like polar opposite vibe.
It's just amazing to see that we're still,
we've regressed since the 90s.
100%. Like late 90s, it was not an issue. It was never an issue ever.
Dude, politics and culture are so interwoven right now, and it's so difficult to unsee the things that have politically been done to America that have led to this regression. Obama said that he wanted to fundamentally change the foundation of America. That's fucked up, because the foundation of America is amazing. The Constitution is incredible. Like July 4th, represent. I love America. Yeah, I don't live there right now, but that doesn't mean I don't love being American and that I'm proud of America and what America is and what it stands for. But changing that foundation, I mean, the 90s were amazing. I grew up in a time where anyone could be famous. Didn't matter what your skin color was. All the movies that were coming out, like, man, banger after banger after banger movies in the 90s. Imagine, like, think about all the movies that came out in the 90s. And guess what? There was a wide variety of cast. It wasn't like all white people. It was like, it mattered if you were a good actor. And like, that's how you got the job, because you were a good actor. And like, meritocracy was ruling. And that was amazing. I love that. What changed? Well, the race baiters took over. Sorry, I don't like Obama. I think he's a fucking race baiting king. He's the race baiting king of America.
Kyle came in with the super chat, says, I remember when Girahim from Skyward Sword, he was very good at grabbing my sword, my master sword, of course, and throwing it away from Link. That's true. I remember that now that you're speaking of it. Thank you so much, Kyle. And Extra Zero says, it was back when entertainment was primarily about escapism. There was messaging, but it was larger messaging. The larger messaging was people are people, regardless of skin color.
It was subtext.
Yeah, exactly.
It was subtext. It wasn't loud and in your face. Because, I mean, think about any type of argument that you have with somebody. The moment somebody starts to raise their voice, I know I start to lose respect. I start to tune it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the same way with my entertainment. Like, I'm fine if it's there, if it's in the background, cool. But as soon as you start getting loud with it is whenever I start to take a step back.
Yeah, you don't want to be
And now
lectured.
it's just everywhere.
Yeah,
it's like people with
it's
religion.
being lectured. Yeah,
It's like with religion. Like, or like, I don't want to be told that I'm a bad person by all the Christians. We'll stop trying to shove all this religion down my throat. It's like, okay, like, you do you. That's perfectly fine. It's the same kind of thing. Like, people don't.
It
want
is a
it with
religion.
one
I'm
thing.
glad you brought that up because it is their religion. That is it, and they are actually doing exactly that. You know, you need to adhere to our religion, or you know, Michigan just made it a felony if you misgender someone.
Mhm.
It's just like,
That is pathetic.
it's pathetic and it's unconstitutional. And
It is.
I'm sure the Supreme Court's going to be like, no, I'm sorry. Absolutely not. It's a little thing called freedom of speech. Misgendering someone is words. All right. No one's actually getting harmed. All right. It's a bunch of babies that have probably infiltrated the government in Michigan to try to pass this fucking bullshit. But it's a religion.
Billions of dollars you waste on those, like, on these laws that are just going to be overturned because they're unconstitutional. Like, all the resources just wasted on that. Yikes.
It's
just
a mess,
exhausting.
man. You're right.
Yeah, a felony. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an absolute mess.
It has nothing to, I'm sorry, I have to say, it has nothing to do with the gender shit at all. People are like looking too closely to it. You got to take a step back and realize that these people don't want Americans to own guns, and they don't want Americans to have the freedom of speech. They want the ability to shut down any dissent that they want from anyone that is countering their narrative, period. Okay? That's what it's about. It's about shutting down the foundations of America, because America is a dam against the floodgates of communism, Marxist bullshit. Like, dude, these people want serfs and plebs and to be the elites that run the planet. That's what they want. I don't care if you call me a conspiracy theorist. I've been sitting here observing the world for 3 years straight of just what's happening. And the more that I watch, the more that I see what's happening. You know, the World Economic Forum, you know, we're going to own no clothes. None of us. Private clothing's going to be gone. We're not going to own anything. We're going to have outfits by 2030. How does that make you feel?
And the thing is, you're looking at it from the outside looking in, because you don't live here right now. So the news that you're getting is what's being shared, probably only international.
I don't watch news. I don't watch news, and
Good
it's
for
in
you.
Swedish anyway. I don't speak Swedish yet, but I follow all the same people that I have been following. You know, it's the people that are on the ground, the people that are sharing like the actual bills and breaking it down. You know, the Robert Barnes of
Robert's
every
a great
different
guy. I met
every
him in
different
Vegas.
facet. Dude, Robert's a freaking beast, and incredibly smart guy, and you know, all those types of people, right? The people that are like, I don't bullshit. Look at this fucking bullshit that's happening. I'm breaking it down in my own way. You know, Viva Barnes, fantastic duo. And different people on the internet, you know, like the Eric Julys, the Geeks and Gamers Squad, you know, Nerdrotic, like all these culture warriors. Like, that's the vibe of what I'm getting from them, because culture and politics, they are hand in hand, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting.
They are called the culture wars for a reason.
Well, we'll see what happens with Anthony Mackie and his complaints about Harry Potter's in 1990 Scotland. We'll see how it
Now,
goes.
I'll tell you what happens. No one gives a fuck, Anthony. No one cares. Shut the fuck up, okay? These movies are flopping. Indiana Jones was a hot fucking mess. All these different woke bullshit that's coming out, everyone's getting sick of. No one wants to be lectured, just like she was just explaining. She doesn't want to be lectured. As soon as you get loud, as soon as you start like lecturing people are going to tune out. And guess what? They're not going to show up for the next thing that you do, because the next thing you do is probably going to be more lecturing on how to be a good moral person. And it's like, fuck you.
If Anthony Mackie wants Wizards in the Hood, he should just write that. Write it. Why you got to change somebody else's book? Write that story
Exactly.
if that's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
And J.K.
Because
Rowling, she didn't
because it's
copyright
proving
Wizards.
it's proving to them that people are racist. It's proving their narrative. Oh, J.K. Rowling didn't write it exactly how we would have done it. She's clearly racist. These people that write these stories that don't have like all black casts or all gay casts or all whatever the fuck check boxes that they want. It proves that the world is racist. It proves that they're right in their ways of being this virtuous knights to try to change society in the utopia that they see fit. Utopias are a big fucking lie.
Cole says the race baiters will never be at peace, while cool people like us enjoy great entertainment, like the Rush Hour movies or parody movies that make fun
Classic.
of everyone.
Tropic Thunder, the last great parody.
These people
Well,
have low self-esteem. Yeah,
I don't know if it's a parody, but yeah, it's a parody movie, right? I mean, Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a parody.
It's satire, yeah.
Yeah, they can't
Oh,
make that
100%.
shit anymore.
Yeah, RDJ, like, come on.
Hey, I hadn't seen this, but you guys see the Centenario says a Call of Duty and another controversy. They're about to release a new sexy female operator called Izanami. For if you spell it backwards, what do you get?
Oh my.
Well, we could do the math there.
Right. So
Is that real?
Is
so
that actually real?
apparently, yes, it is real. But now here's the thing, though. I went in and this is called research, ladies and gentlemen, where I went in and this is apparently a anime inspired character, right? And this is her, and they've gone in and renamed her to just Izzy now. But if you were to if you were to go in and just put the name Izanami in a search bar, you would very quickly find out that Izanami is the creator deity of both creation and death in Japanese mythology, right?
Yeah, it's a cool name. Izanami. Yeah. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
It is. It's a beautiful name.
So people went in, they're like, but if you spell it backwards, then there's clearly issues. So
Well,
here we are.
this look.
So they're
I talk.
appropriating Japanese culture.
I have
there.
to. So there's this study that was done. All right, I talked about this on Base F Monday, and I'm seeing it everywhere I look, in all things. All right, and these researchers took a group of women, and they put the fake scars all over their faces. Right, and they're like, all right, we're doing this study where you're going to go into these job interviews, and we want to see the effects on like scarred faces. Like you try to, relatively beautiful women, whatever, and scarred up their faces with makeup. And they're all right, I'll go into this interview and see if they treat you differently or like how it goes. And then right before the interview, they were like, all right, we're going to touch up your makeup, and got rid of all of the scars. So none of the women actually had anything wrong with their faces. It was just like normal makeup. Like they looked normal. They walked in, did the interviews, and came back, and all of these women were like, they were making these comments like, how dare they? The interview went horrible. This one thing that they said, clearly they were making fun of the scars on my face, and it's like that was like the general consensus of all these women. And it turns out none of them had any scars, but it was this thing in their brain that they thought that they had scars on their face, so they were looking for anything that would critique their faces. They saw this prejudice where there was none, and that's what's happening. It's they're believing, and they're told by the media, by the movies, by the actors, by all these people that the world is racist and everyone's against you. So they start looking for it and seeing it, and it's like, well, maybe the person's just an asshole, or maybe you're just an asshole, and people are treating you as such. Like they can't get that through their head, and it's so fucking exhausting. Do you see it, right?
Of course.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, the victim complex. There's always,
Mm-hmm.
everybody always feels, it's always woe is me, and nobody wants to sit up and figure out what they're doing wrong, or that maybe they're not doing anything wrong, but they're always looking for something for sure. So, all right, well, let's go. I mean, that's just crazy to think, but all I did was just put the name in, and that's the first thing that popped up. Oh, it's the creator of death, which sounds like an awesome
and life and death.
Right. So it sounds like
I think that's important.
Yeah,
right. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like okay.
They should have stuck to their guns.
Yeah,
Well,
they should have been like
duty, so they have opposite morals.
It's also the brand of a flat iron in China.
There you go.
Thanks, Travis.
well, China. Never mind. I was going to make a bad joke.
All right, let's go to something a little more lighthearted, or is it? Let's go to some video game news here. Are you guys familiar with the Banjo-Kazooie series?
No,
I haven't
never
played them,
played
but
it.
I know of them.
Yeah, I
But you know
actually
them?
thought they were great games, the first two.
So Banjo-Kazooie was a 3D platformer from back in the mid 90s and into the early, probably late 2010s. I think the last big game they produced was this game called Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And Banjo-Kazooie, if you see the characters, you would actually recognize them. They are they're characters in Smash Brothers, which you can download. It was kind of a cool get when they came in. That's the most recent game that they've been in, and keeps them relevant, I would say. But there's actually been quite a lot of clamoring online. When I say a lot, I use quotations around that for people looking for a new 3D platformer from Banjo-Kazooie. This was seen as like a benchmark 3D platform from back in the day. But alas, it's probably not going to happen. As this goes back to the idea of a lot online doesn't necessarily mean actual numbers or tangible audience. It says, I'm not convinced the audience is there. This is a quote from the studio heads and some of the main people behind over at Rare. It says, I can't speak for Greg, but he's really the custodian of the franchise. He doesn't really look back and tread over old ground. So I don't think he's been bothered to do anything else with the franchise. He'd rather move on to new experiences. As far as he's concerned, he's been there, done that. I think Rare would be open to somebody if they found the right team, but it doesn't seem like that team exists. And I'm not convinced the audience is there either. Speaking about a new game at Banjo being 25 years old now.
And I think that's okay.
Right.
Not every game needs to last forever. Sometimes a story does need to end.
That's why they become classics.
They could just do a reboot of an older game and see if it sells.
Nah, don't reboot stuff anymore because it's always going to be swapped or changed and throw member berries in there just to pull you in. But
I agree 100% with Kara. I mean, games don't need to become franchises. You know, there's this like Diablo 4, right? It just came out, and there's this guy who made a video like, oh, Diablo 4 is dying and all this stuff, and because the player base reached endgame and gave up. Yeah, I mean, it is a little stale. As someone who was a Diablo 2 player for a long time, Diablo 4 definitely needs some help, but it's a fantastic game. I really enjoyed it. And Asmongold did a video basically talking about that's bullshit. Like, every single game will come out and then lose a lot of its player base because people try it, move on to a different game, move on, whatever. And then seasons, it'll spike. People will come back and play the content. These games, you know, they have their time to shine. And then players play other games. Like, getting people to play your game and continue to play your game, that's tough. That's a challenge. Like, as a game maker, to be able to keep people captured in your game. Like Fortnite, it's free. All right, that's a huge thing about Fortnite. People can just pick it up and play it, and then, you know, buy skins or whatever, and it's like having a free game. But something like this, well, make a new game. Like, risk it. There's a reason why Star Wars went from no one knew what Star Wars was, and then it came out, and it became a freaking worldwide phenomenon. But it was new. It was something that someone created that became huge. And these companies just don't want to risk. They don't want to risk it. And it's so annoying. Like, risk is what makes things great. Like, we need to be able to risk. No one wants to do that anymore. Everyone wants a safe, comfortable world. And it's like the welfare version of things. Like, I would rather just take the safe, lazy bet and the mundane. Like, how did society get so soft? Sorry, I'm a little cynical today because I am getting so fed up with these attitudes that are just integrating everything. Everything is being affected and it's like being rubbed with acid. It's just slowly melting away from its former glory. Like, we were talking about how good the 90s were. Yeah, and the 90s were filled with original shit that was coming out. okay, not all of it was original. Some of them were remakes from like the 50s, but it still was like a long enough time that no one even knew what the heck it was. Now they're remaking shit that just ended like 4 years prior. Like, oh, we're gonna remake this movie. You mean the one that just came out? Okay, a movie that came out 10 years ago. That's pretty fresh. I can't think of the example I'm thinking of. I know they're
trying to do Moana and How to
There we
Train Your
go.
Dragon.
Right. When did those movies come out? When did Moana come out?
I remember going to watch the latest How to Train Your Dragon in theaters recent, within the last 5 years.
Right, they're running out of stuff to remake.
And it still holds up. It is still an absolutely stunning movie. It is perfect the way it is. It's not like you're needing to up the resolution and do new graphics or new animation and do all this. It doesn't need it. It is absolutely beautiful the way it is. But they probably just want to go in and add something to check a box.
I think that's the biggest thing is you nailed it when you said there's nothing wrong with leaving a movie, show, game alone. It doesn't need to be remade. You don't need to do it. There's such a rush. Well, this saw success 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 20 years ago. Bring it back. And to kind of bring it to something that happened this past weekend, right? Eventually, what's going to happen is you're going to see an issue with the audience just not being there. Take, for instance, Indiana Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones this past weekend bombed, right? And
huge.
Massive failure for Disney, right? Why? If you break it down, people say, the woke stuff. Okay, maybe, right? The lead character was belittling the Indiana Jones, whatever, maybe. I think the reality of it is that the Indiana Jones fan, number one, there hasn't been a fan since the early 90s, right? The movie in the 2000s with the Crystal Skull movie didn't create any new fans for Indiana Jones, right? So everybody who would be a fan to want to see this new movie, they're all in their 40s. They're all in their mid 40s, right? These are people who grew up watching Indiana Jones when they were 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, right? Like me. And getting to the theater is a hard thing to do, right? We've aged out of going to the theater because we have other priorities in our life, right? So someone's like, we need to remake Indiana Jones. We got to do this. We got to bring this back. But they didn't think about the audience and how the audience has really no interest in going to see it in the theater. And we'll just wait. If we really, like I told you, I was part of the problem, right? I was like, I want to go see the new Indiana Jones. I told you guys that many, many times, and you guys gave me a lot of shit.
I did especially.
I haven't had time. Like, even if I wanted to go, I didn't have time. I was doing family stuff, hanging out with my family this weekend, doing fireworks and all sorts of I had more priorities than going to see the 5th movie in a franchise. If they just would have let Indiana Jones is such a perfect example of if you just would have let it be, it would have been flawless. But they had to keep pressing it. And you look at Back to the Future. Back to the Future, perfect. No reason to bring it back. But there's some studio executive out there going like, we got to bring Back to the Future. We got to bring it back. It's going to be so good. Don't mess with perfection. Leave it alone. And it's okay.
They're banking on nostalgia rather than creativity.
Yes.
Yep.
Sadly, I don't think movie companies think about things right, because if you think about nowadays, there's not as much pull to go to the movies, especially for younger kids. They can watch anything they want online. All they have to do is wait. So the only thing that's going to excite them is something they want to see now, right this moment.
Well, not even that, because they can even just pirate it.
True. So really, what's the pull? Now they think it's all nostalgia too. You know what I'm saying? That's all they use, basically, anymore.
Since 2019, I've been to the movies once. So
why is it that they utilize that so much? I think it's to bring people our age to the movies.
Which goes back to going back to the story. If there's no Banjo-Kazooie games left, good. I mean,
it's okay. It is perfectly fine. Some of the best stories are one-offs. Like, you don't have to just keep milking it, because if you keep milking it, the creativity is going to dry up and you're just going to end up pissing off the people who originally made it popular in the first place.
You get those Hobbit movies.
Yeah. Centario came back, says, where's the snake pit? We need more people here. Craig, come on, G&G Daily, recruit more 199. Love this panel and old blabs. Hey, Centario, good old blabs.
It's not. There's no D. There was no D. It was old blabs.
Old blabs.
Old blabs.
Good old blabs. That's a term of endearment. Well, I would love to come on Geeks and Gamers Daily and bring some folks over and help them, come on over to Side Scrolls. You notice, by the way, we are here on Wednesdays, which usually we've been over on Geeks and Gamers on Wednesdays. I did quickly reference that so Geeks and Gamers was demonetized like during their stream a couple days ago, and they were dealing with that. I was talking to Jeremy, and he's like, "Well, let's just make the cut now," and because we're demonetized. And since we had that conversation, they've been remonetized, and good for them. So we're just gonna hang out here for a while. But yeah, I would love for more of the 199 to come on over and hang out with us and meet our community over here. It'd be spectacular for sure. Welcome on out. Then let's listen to this. Ventalo came in with the $50 super chat. Says, shout out to Drunk 3PO. Much love to the panel. Adam playing Diablo 4 on Side Scrollers. Would love to see more exclusive gaming content from everyone on the channel. Love Blaz versus Castlevania, though. Just want her to play something she's good at.
Right.
Ventalo, thank you so much for the $50 balls.
Ooh, yeah. Balls.
Kara?
How do I follow that up?
Sorry.
Anything.
Balls.
Wait, do you have a voice changer?
I'm so happy about it.
Okay.
Balls.
Now I want you to try in the weirdest voice you can think of that you can muster. All right, and then drop it again. Go.
Oh God, no.
Pressure's on. Oh no, you can't get out of this.
No, you're making me anxious.
No. We're not moving on till you say balls.
I said balls.
She said balls.
She said it again.
All right. Hey, Ventalo, thank you so much for the giant $50 super chat. That is absolutely massive. And yeah, you're going to be seeing more gameplay coming up here as we move into fall for sure. Blast versus Castlevania should be finishing today. So hopefully you guys are there this afternoon. Looking
Whoa. Yo, hold on. He went from today is the day to about an hour later. He said, today might be the day. It could be it. I don't know. By the end of the show.
It's definitely not happening today.
That's not allowed.
I'm allowed to because I've already done the thing. It's not a surprise, so it's trying to help me figure out a better way.
I mean, you had a live coach who isn't very good, in my opinion. Clearly,
horrible coach. Horrible. It's just ridiculous.
That's why I rely on YouTube.
That's right. Starscream came in with the $10 Rumble rant. Says, Back to the Future will never be remade or continued. Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis, who own the IP, have said they will never let it happen now or after they're gone. Well, that is amazing to hear. Amazing to hear. And Dude came in with a $5 Rumble rant. Says, nostalgia can be used creatively, but current Hollywood can't even do that. Spider-Man No Way Home is the perfect example of using nostalgia creatively. Thank you so much.
I didn't even like Spider-Man No Way Home.
That was the one a few years ago, right?
Yeah, that was with Toby and Andrew.
Yeah,
I thought it was all right.
Yeah,
I thought the Toby and Andrew were the best part of it. I actually despised Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I hated all of them.
I actually like how they interacted together, the different Spider-Men.
Yeah, that was cool.
Individual stories and
they
stuff.
definitely relied on member berries.
Every time I see Tom Holland, he's the same exact character, and it's like, I don't mind him as Spider-Man, but like seeing him in Uncharted, it was just like, he's the same exact person.
Yeah. He doesn't really act.
It's not really.
I have been watching him in The Crowded Room. I started that recently, and it's pretty good so far. He's doing a really good job in it.
Is he different, or is he the same person?
He's a little messed up in the head in The Crowded Room. Like I haven't finished the show. I don't know what the ending is or anything like that. All I know is that he's been arrested and they're trying to figure out like if he killed these people, if he didn't kill these people. Like it's pretty interesting so far.
the best movie he's ever done. Just a side note, he was actually the first movie he ever did. It was a dancing movie. He was a kid who
Billy
danced.
Elliot.
Yeah, he was really good in that.
Henry Davis has come in with the $50 direct donation. Says, I think we need some more balls.
All right.
Balls.
And now I'm gonna change my voice here in a second, Kara. All right, I'm gonna drop a balls like it's hot. Okay. All right, like a really hot summer day, low hanging fruit kind of vibe, you know.
Do your balls hang low?
But before I do, all right, I need you to look. However you want. All right, you could do it however you want. I would love it. That was great.
That was adorable.
I had no warning. I wish I wasn't speaking so that you had the full glory there. But that was fantastic. Thank you. Okay.
That was like an anime person going balls.
That's what I was going for.
Balls.
I don't know what this button does. I'm gonna
balls.
Like a
good. Thank you.
synthesizer.
Henry, thank you very much for the $50.
Spiky balls.
That's one ball.
Is that your dog's toy?
Yeah.
All right.
Then he
Kara,
ran.
You
to
get
go
to
get
pick
it.
where we go next. All right. We have a story about Kick, or we have a story about not MrBeast.
Ooh. Like actually not about MrBeast?
Yes. But it is related to MrBeast. I'll say one. Well, I'll let you pick.
Let's just I don't like Jimmy, so let's not talk about MrBeast.
Okay. Okay, sounds good.
Mr. Beast's name is Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Why do you not like MrBeast?
I was his landlord.
What?
Now that's a story.
Yeah, I remember you telling us a little bit about
Stop.
this before the show last time. I remember.
Yeah, I used to be his landlord.
Whoa.
I have my own reasons to not like that crew.
Can we talk about that later? Like some other show?
Yeah. That's
What do you
fine.
mean? I want to know right now.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put Kara on the spot and like
I do.
make her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I definitely want to put her on the spot.
Can we? Okay, hold on.
They were just very destructive.
Wait, when were you MrBeast's landlord?
This would have been 4 years ago.
So when he's on his way up.
He had already been pretty big at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, this was around the time he was like getting houses for people and stuff. Like, I don't know if he bought them or not, but I remember he moved like 2 people into houses and stuff.
Let me look real quick because a friend of mine used to be on the channel.
To be clear, just so we're on the same page, you owned the property that he rented?
I worked at the property management company that they rented a warehouse through.
And they were just destructive or what?
Yeah. And it just wasn't a fun situation. It's just very stressful. They're very destructive. I remember driving by one time and they had blown something up and it had stained the wall bright pink.
Did they not fix it or?
It took them a very long time to do it, but it just wasn't a very mutually beneficial contract.
If it was me, I was making as much money as he was at that time. I'd gave y'all $50,000 check and said, "Here's a down payment for any destruction I may cause." Right? Don't worry about it.
You got your robot synth voice now.
Yeah, Trev, I think your internet's acting up, so we're gonna wait for that to pick up. But okay,
3
so
years ago is whenever I would have been there.
I have to ask. What you started that by saying you don't like MrBeast, right?
It's just for my own personal reasons.
But was he? Because you worked for a bigger business. Like, how big was this business you worked for? Was it like a huge business owned like thousands of properties, or okay? So they didn't own that many properties, but you were on the property management team. So was he ever rude to you, or did he do things maliciously? I'm just trying to like gauge the situation.
Most of the correspondence was through his mom or through the managing company.
Okay.
But I just I know that they from the stories from my friend who used to be on there, he liked to take certain things, like, so if they're making a video and somebody said something and he liked that line, he would make them reshoot it for one. That way he would say the line and not the friend. That way he would have that spotlight. And then there was also just some other things around town that he had done that to me were unethical. Like,
Can you talk about that?
I don't know if I can talk about that one. At least not specifically. I know he had bought land that was already in the process of being sold to another company that was going to use it to help bring jobs to the town.
So what did he do with it?
I think, I don't know what he ended up doing with it. I didn't follow up with it after that, but
I feel like there's going to be a day where I think that MrBeast has done a lot of really great things for a lot of great people.
He has.
Right.
The road. Yeah.
But I do think that there's going to be a day where the spotlight gets put on him and it's going to be really, really bright, where there's going to be like it. You can't be that squeaky clean. Right. And I don't think he is. I know for a fact that there are channels that he funds that most people would be shocked that he does, that his company does. And it's all hush hush, private stuff. Right.
That you can't say right now.
No, but I know that for a fact. I just think that there's some layers attached to MrBeast that people, once you start peeling back the onion, right, for all the good, I'm not going to say there's just as much bad, but I will say that there is some bad underneath there. But to be fair, I think that you can do that with most people. I think that, especially with a spotlight that big, with that large of an audience. So, but that's just me.
I want him to use that audience for good. And I hope he continues that. But at the same time, it's just, I do kind of want people to see that real side.
The road to hell.
And not just the YouTube side.
So when you say his mom did most of the communication, does she kind of serve as his manager?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she'd handle all the anytime there was an issue, you just call his mom, and she'd be like, "Okay, I'll tell Jimmy."
Jimmy blew something up again.
Oh man, that's funny. That's crazy. Chris
it's
says,
just a small world.
Chris says, "There's no way I'd come on this show to get interviewed. It's such a trap." What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Any show that wouldn't try to find out the truth isn't worth watching.
Exactly.
Because that's just going to be an echo chamber, circle jerk. Like, who the fuck gives a shit about that? No one wants that.
You can't have somebody come on your show and be like, "Well, I was MrBeast's landlord for years," and like, well, it's like, I'm sorry, what? The largest creator in the history of the internet, and you were his landlord? Like, yeah, we should probably talk about that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to trap you at all, Kara, at all.
No, you weren't.
Well,
There's just certain things that I can't say because I was under NDA during a lot of that.
You have a sign. You just hold it up.
I do have the sign.
I love how the D is just really, really small compared to the N and A.
Blabs likes the small D. Let it be known.
No.
That's what you just said. Just saying.
Compared to the N and the A. Don't try to phrase what I say. You're putting words in my mouth, you lose points.
Small D not available. All right. That's
not found in this location, I guess.
Hey, Lucas came in and says, "Great panel, guys. Adam and Kara are on fire, giving facts back to back. The sad thing is that we are in a recycled age where nothing matters." Lucas, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Nodding says, hey, gang. So what happened with Side Scrollers and Geeks and Gamers? Is the partnership over? Yeah, so I mentioned this just a minute ago, but the long and short of it is they got demonetized, and second to Jeremy, he's like, well, let's just make the cut now. And
awfully convenient,
right?
If you ask me, awfully convenient. After the past couple weeks,
Jeremy was on our show last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do you want?
I called it.
That's right. As soon as I put the title, it goes back to Spoiler Gate.
Spoiler Gate.
Karen, just for reference, a couple weeks ago we were on Wednesdays on Geeks and Gamers, and we were talking about The Flash, and there was like some spoiler, and I put it in the thumbnail and the title, and Jeremy they were doing a show. And he was asking his audience about whether he should spoil this thing. I think it had to do with like Michael Keaton or something. I don't remember what it was.
No, it was Superman. No.
Okay, yeah, it was
Christopher Reeve.
Yes. And anyways, he mentioned it, and he was doing this thing on the show, and we were getting our show set up, and I put that in the title, and he like
the thumbnail.
Yeah, and he blew a gasket, and he was like, "Whoa!" And he just kind of went crazy. And like, look, it was totally my fault. So it's totally cool. So that's why.
And he got us kicked off of Geeks and Gamers.
Friendship ruined forever.
That's right.
Good going, right. Craig.
That's right. That's what I do, apparently.
Ruined it.
And Ventala says, spill the tea, talking about the MrBeast stuff. Is there anything else you want to add about all that? Just like your experience with being MrBeast landlord, and anything else people should know about that experience?
Just pay attention to a lot of the videos, and just try to see what kind of audience he's trying to
cater to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I don't understand. What does that mean?
I mean, not everything is out of good faith.
Do you think that because he says he puts all his money back into his videos, right? Do you feel that's accurate? Like, is he rolling around in like crazy cars, or is like, I don't know. I think it just seems kind of, anybody who says they're investing millions of dollars into a YouTube video, and they're like, well, I put it all back into videos, right?
Well, he's got to pay the host and the host is expensive. And the host happens to be MrBeast.
That's true.
So, putting money back at like that phrase, I put all my money back into the videos, that can mean anything. Yeah. Well, I needed this new house for my mother to shoot a segment of a video. Like, you could say that money was spent for part of your video. All right. Or anything along those lines. Not to mention he's the host of the show of whatever, and he's got to pay himself. Like, it's his job. So yeah, I got to pay him. I got to pay the personality. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it all goes back into the videos. That's all I'll say.
I agree with that statement.
Sounds good.
What's up with these rich YouTubers that just turn out to be like sociopaths, narcissistic assholes?
I just knew I was at the Tesla dealership up in Raleigh one time, and they were saying that like he threw a fit because they wouldn't deliver his Tesla to his doorstep.
What a spoiled brat!
And for the record,
my Tesla on time.
For the record,
and they don't deliver to anybody.
Right.
I did say YouTubers plural. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, we get it. Hey. Spartananius game says, I'd love to see an all-black remake of Dukes of Hazzard. Let's go with that. Be funny. And then V6 Neon says, Billy Elliot was filmed in Easington Colliery, which is 4 miles east as the crow flies for me. That's interesting. The school was pulled down within the last few years. Some of the streets also went. I did live there. Thank you so much, V6 Neon, as a reference earlier. Okay, then let's do this. Let's do this kick thing here. Let's finish up with Kick. This is from our boy Flawdzilla. This was kind of interesting. Kick is kind of the new kid on the block. Everyone's flocking there. It's the Twitch alternative. Hey, this is the cool place. This is a 95.5 rev split. Once again, you start peeling back the onions, and all of a sudden, things don't seem to be as awesome as they are. And this is a standard thing; it happens all the time. But Flawed put this up, and we'll just kind of let this be. He says the CEO of Kick says he doesn't want Kick to be a free speech platform, and that he can't control Aiden Ross, or if he can't control him, he will ban him. This is a piece of an interview that he did just a few days ago. We'll go to watch this and check this out.
Don't want to include Kick in deals right now because of that. We've talked to people who don't want to switch over to Kick because they don't feel safe because of Aiden Ross's community.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, just the idea, like, we don't feel safe. So, okay, sorry. It just drives me crazy.
Hear these complaints loud and clear. We understand we have to address them. We have to make sure that we create a safe environment. That is just simply how the internet is nowadays. You can't allow for that kind of behavior. We don't want to be known as a place where people can come and just say anything they want and get away with it. That is what we want to be known as. There are other platforms at the moment that are known for that. And I like to think we're not in the same bucket as them. We're not categorized in the same category as them. We'd never want to be. If there is no solution there, then of course we would have to take traditional measures to solve it. But I like to think that we can put forward a solution that won't require that. It's
almost like he throws shade at Rumble there. You can say whatever you want on Rumble.
100% threw shade at Rumble right there.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, you look like you're about to explode.
He's got a headache.
Yeah, I legitimately do have a headache.
Okay.
I'm not joking. I seriously do. I have a headache. I'm at this point where it's not surprising. I don't fucking care. Fuck Kick. All right. I love Rumble. Rumble's fantastic. I went to Rumble and I stuck with Rumble after YouTube gave me 9 strikes. I finally started a Rumble channel, and I do YouTube and Rumble on my show because we've talked about this, why the non-exclusive deal with Kick was actually an important thing, because people will learn about my Rumble stream and then maybe come and follow me over on Rumble, because YouTube loves to shit all over my content and douse my algorithms. Like, sure, you know what, whatever. Well, Rumble's awesome, and Rumble allows me to say whatever I want to say. Like, who gives a fuck about having a safe space? People who have thin skin, that can't take a joke, that are offended at everything, that need to learn how to grow the fuck up and be a human, an adult. Okay, these people are babies that are growing up entitled, spoiled brats. All right, and I'm sick of these entitled, spoiled brats taking over every industry and ruining it because they need their safe space. The internet is not a safe space, period. And it will never be, because there's always, like, everyone can access the internet. All right, and when you have, are you going to start cutting people off from the internet? Yeah, you damn straight they're going to start doing that. You're going to lose access to your bank accounts. Oh, wait, no, they're doing that, actually. You can't misgender someone in Michigan without going to fucking jail for up to 2 years for misgendering someone. I don't know how they're going to fucking prove that. But these people and their damn safe spaces, dude, it's ruining the planet. All right, these people are destroying society.
The biggest thing here is, you said the internet's not a safe space. Life
it's not.
Life is not a safe space.
Reality. Yeah.
Yes.
Living. That woman is suing her parents for giving birth to her because she didn't consent.
What?
I'm not joking. This is a real thing. And then she had the nerve to have kids herself. You fucking asshole. You hypocrite. Like, how dare you bring children into this world when you're suing your parents for bringing you into it? What is this fucking clown world that we are living in? Yeah, this is a real thing, Craig. He doesn't even believe me. Straight up.
I'm literally looking at it right now. I'm just pulling up. This is the first time I've seen this. Woman who sued her parents for being born without her consent explains why her own children can't sue her. I'm sure it's extremely logical and makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh, this is just insane.
These people are just so batshit crazy.
Part of growing up is learning that life is not a safe space. Learning what to trust and what not to trust, how to recognize when something could be a threat and avoid it, right? That's part of growing up. People are missing this because their parents aren't teaching their shit. You know what's teaching them? their fucking phones, TikTok, the internet, social media, some asshole on the other side of the planet that they think their opinion matters. So they're changing their entire life to try to make that person happy with them who doesn't give a fuck about them. Right? That's who's teaching these generations of children. They're not learning that, you know what that person says doesn't fucking matter because they're on the other side of the planet. In fact, whatever your neighbor says doesn't matter. You know what? You should have general respect for the people around you, but you shouldn't allow them to validate your existence. You need to do that for you. All right? And people are not learning that. They need to learn it. I learned that from my family growing up, and I'm so great. Like, looking back at my childhood, I'm like, yeah, there was some ups and downs, sure. Right? I didn't have a shit childhood. I had a pretty good childhood for what the hand that was dealt to me. But I learned how to validate myself. And that was the best thing I could have ever learned from my family. Thank you for that, fam. Like, you guys are fantastic. So I don't see some asshole internet spam, someone like talking shit. Trust me, I've had plenty of people talking shit to me over the years. I've been on many different shows where people didn't like me at all. And I don't fucking care. Because I'm going to be me, and the people that follow me know that I'm going to be me, and I'm fine. I validate myself. I don't need a safe space. I don't want a safe space. I like that life is a forge, and you choose how you mold yourself. Like, I have a song. It's like, you're the hammer and you're the material. All right? Don't give the hammer to someone else. All right? Don't ever let go of that hammer.
CJ says, I'm convinced that being in 1993, I'm the last generation that grew up with common sense.
92 here.
Yeah. All right, let's go and hit some memes before we wrap up. Obviously, Blabs, how do you feel? Well, I'm sorry, before we get the memes, Blabs, how do you feel? You're pushing Kick.
I mean, listen, I knew about this. I do think Rumble is like very much the only alternative for free speech. However, that pay rate is pretty amazing, so I'm gonna stick with it.
However, the money is worth it.
Well, first of all, I'm not saying anything that would get me I'm saying whatever I want to say, and I have
first
no
they came
issues.
for this person, but I didn't speak up because I'm not that person.
I'm the one who sent this in the group chat, so
I'm okay.
I'm against it. I'm for free speech.
I just find it interesting though, because it's that same exact thing.
Well, it's just like, is there another alternative? Because Rumble isn't the same as Kick or Twitch, in my opinion.
Why? Why? Wait, but why is that? What is the reasoning?
It's still not a gaming alternative. It's not easy to stream with still. Like, it's all those issues that we've already been talking about. It's not just a simple point a key, stream in, and go. There's all these other factors to it that it's like, well, Kick is so much easier to use right now.
I will say Rumble is very tedious to get set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. Rumble is not user friendly, and I say Rumble is creator friendly in that it allows you to do everything that needs to be done. Post a video, live stream. Now, live streaming not super easy to do. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but after you get used to it, it works. But the bigger thing with Rumble is that it's not viewer friendly yet. It doesn't have and it will get there. I strongly believe that.
Yeah, I think it will too. But for now, it's not as good.
It doesn't have standard features when it comes to live streaming content. But and just video content as a whole. But I think it'll get there. Rumble is I'm a big believer in their mission. We've talked about that many times. So once again, head over and follow us.
They're doing it at their own pace, and they're trying to get it done right.
Yeah.
Right.
Once it's actually up there and ready to roll, I'll totally use it. I have no problem against Rumble.
All right, let's go to read some of these memes. But before I do, Telltale to AES says with the $5 direct donation says daily reminder that Philip Burnell is a man. That's the rumor. But hey, who are you to just tell me how he identifies today? Let's go over here and get some of these memes. It says that time Adam's love for giant Walmart pickles got him front page on the people of Walmart. There you go. Thank you so much. Look at Adam loving his big old pickle. Right there. We got this one from Jackson. Jackson says, I have two pickles. I have two pickles. I have two pickles today. Hey. What is this? Is this
the rascals?
I got the pickles. I got the pickles. I got the pickles. Say, hey. You don't what?
No,
Craig!
I think
Wow.
I've seen this movie, but I was not born in 1993. Like this is when this movie came out.
So
in probably
because
what,
you weren't
mid-90s?
born
Classic.
in a year, you haven't seen a movie?
Yeah,
Caught red-handed.
absolutely. What's right-handed about that? Like,
That's full of
if
shit.
like when was Little Rascals made?
The 90s. Well,
Right.
the original one was like in the 50s, wasn't it?
Chat
Right.
says 94.
Okay, so I'm 13 at the time, right?
Yeah.
At
So
13,
that's a
I'm
great
just
movie
saying,
for you.
I was 2.
13.
I would
Right.
have, it would have been later in life that I watched it.
when you were like 6 or 7, 8,
hmm
right? Right, and I would have been old. I had aged out of Little Rascals at that point.
You
So
never
I'm
took
sorry.
Little Rascals.
Sorry, I
Nope.
didn't get that reference. Then we have this one. It says, when Adam's love for Walmart pickles goes too far. Craig, I turned myself into a Walmart pickle, Craig. I turned myself into a Walmart pickle, Craig. Got to be honest. Seems a bit played out, Adam. This is a legit hate crime now, Craigs. There you go. Hanging out together. It's nice. Excellent. Let's go to this one from Extra Zero, since this is probably my favorite of the movies with Sans meme. Oh, here we go.
Ooh, Blade.
Some
Draw that
motherfuckers
line.
are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Oh! Sorry, Craig.
I like movies that have sand in them.
That's
you
the
for that.
answer to the poll, everyone. Everyone keeps saying it was me that said it. And I was like, nah.
No. I voted for Craig. I knew it was Craig who said it.
That's right. By the way, I love
That
those
is
quotes.
that is one of my favorite vampire
Yeah,
movies.
and the glorious ears. They thought it was me too. And I was like, no, it was Adam.
We
I
got
don't
this
even
one,
remember saying that, to be fair.
By the way, check out all of Harry Potter's good black friends right there. Thank you so much, core member. Appreciate that. And then we have this one. Look at this. Here we go. Check it out.
What the fuck?
Adam Krigler on Netflix.
Love that.
Adam Krigler
Netflix
at home versus
adaptation.
at Netflix.
Right.
Man, looking good.
Look at all the piercings you got on your ears.
Oh, I do. Look at that. On my glorious ears.
Bling, bling, bling.
And then we have Extra Zero says, how I imagine Phil Spencer sitting on top of all the new dormant IPs Microsoft has been gobbling up. We have straight up there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Extra Zero. Then we have this one for Core Member says from Core Member says Blab's Fortnite skin. Oh, look at that. Wouldn't that be nice?
What's with my nose? Nah, I
do you
don't
mean?
like
The
it.
hand tattoo.
Oh yeah.
Is that not your nose?
No, that's not my nose. It's
It's not?
slightly more like protruding or something. I think that's a glove also.
Wait, but did he put a different nose on you?
I don't know. It's like a Fortnite version of me. It's not really me.
Okay.
All right. Then we have this one from Extra Zero says, how I saw Kara react to Adam Krigler's balls drop on. Here we go. Let's check it out.
How do I follow that up?
Wait, that's what it sounded? Oh, jeez.
How do I follow that up?
I love my face in the background there.
Yes, absolutely. The
You're gonna
predator
attack
moving in the
her.
back.
I'm just gonna jump you.
One more time.
How do I follow that up?
You can't. It's true.
Amazing
You
stuff.
see
All
why
right.
you put me on the spot now?
I know. All right. I get it.
Love it. Love it.
But not
Oh,
the
oh,
second time. But you went for it.
I got you on that one.
You dropped the balls for us. Thank you.
Then we have never mind. I thought we had Alfalfa Craig. Sorry, that was Travis over there putting that.
Oh, we
Okay, I
got
think
one
that's
more.
all the memes. What's that? I
Got
get
one
one more?
more.
Okay. This will be the last meme of the day. Thank you guys very much for your support and your memeage as we continue on. Appreciate you guys having fun with the show as we have fun with you guys. So here we go. Oh, look at this. Look at this. The King AC, Adam Krigler is on fire today. Look at that. Look at that. Did you run for office at some point?
That's actually me. I did a speech for the RNC in 2020, and I made it seem like I was actually a part of the convention, and I had a straight up speechwriter write me a speech and worked with them to do like a full on RNC speech, and it did really good actually. It had a lot of views on that, and
So
it was a fantastic speech.
Would you say the RNC, the Republican National Convention?
Yeah, when it was going on in 2020, I released that video, and it said, I just straight up said, my part from the RNC convention, and just kind of put it out there as if it was real. And I had it like the green screen with the same background as what was being used by the other speakers, with like a Trump 2020 sign. Yeah. How many views?
Let's check it out. Hold on. Now I'm intrigued.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening, my fellow Americans. For those who do not know me, my name is Adam Krigler. I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of those Americans who feel reservations about discussing their viewpoints in light of America's current political climate. I come to you tonight with a voice of optimism, a voice that resonates a veneration for true American values that I see so many of you possess, despite the difficult times our nation is facing. There is a disease infecting our nation's politics, and in order to deconstruct the truth, we need to raise our voices collectively to decry the infringement of free speech that has become the cornerstone rhetoric of the left. The Republican Party represents the values of honest, hardworking people, individuals that embody the American dream. On November 3rd, I support the right to enact fair trade deals that will benefit hardworking Americans. I support the right of every American to have a say in how their children are educated. I support the right of every American to have access to affordable prescription drug prices. I support the right of every American to feel protected in their home without squandering the lives of brave women and men domestically or overseas in desultory wars. I support the right of every American who recommends term limits and other measures of accountability for their congressional leaders. I support the right of every American to voice their opinion and to know that that opinion has value in the constructive dialogue of this nation. On November 3rd, I support the right. Thank you.
Damn, that was fire, dude. I forgot about that speech.
Hey, you are just a right-wing extreme bigot for saying all those things.
I don't fucking care. That shit was fire.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well, will we have one in 2024 coming from you?
Nah.
No. Okay.
No, I'm trying to. I fucking hate politics, dude. Politics is. It's the worst, dude.
Hey, you know it's not the worst? Slagging Nanners becoming a member. Let's go, Slagging
Great
Nanners.
name.
Thank you so much.
Nanners.
All right, very good. All right, look, maybe you hate it so much you gotta run for office, Adam.
Fuck you.
You hate it so much you gotta stand up, and you gotta stand up. You gotta say, "Hey, this is fucked up. I'm gonna do it for everybody." And is that gonna be you? No.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Sorry, I dozed off there. No, dude.
All right.
I actually thought Craig was going to show us his feet again when he was about to stand up again. I was like, oh no,
Don't
not
you
again.
dare. Don't you dare. No, I will not do that to you guys.
No, they wouldn't let me become president.
We got sandals. They wouldn't. Love it. All right, look, Kara, thank you so much for coming on and being a part of our show. I want to encourage everybody to head on over and go support the Ripperverse over there. And Kara's.
You want to show them that trailer real quick?
Sure, let's do it. Let's
It's
check it out.
really well animated. It's fun.
Yeah, it's dope.
Let's see. Oh, I can't make it full screen here. Hold on. Let's go here. There we go. Play for me.
Time is a fascinating thing. We often like to think of it as something that just is. But too many people let the past determine who they are. when true greatness is determined by how one deals with the present. So if I'm helping you, I have one condition.
Yeah. No more quitting.
Time is a gift, Ison. What are you gonna do with yours?
Good stuff. Good
I
stuff.
like that. That was good.
I really like the animation style that they went with.
Yeah, it's awesome. Does Eric do the voice of Ison?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna say that has to be him. That sounds just like him.
Yeah,
sure.
it's him.
All right. Well, do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you on Twitter or anything? Or
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Kara_creates. I know the mods have been dropping my link tree in the chat. That's where you can find me on all the different platforms. But yeah, I will be playing some No Man's Sky tomorrow evening with X-Ray Girl, and then I will be doing miniature painting on Sunday on my YouTube, and I will be on Simpcast on Sunday night.
Nice. Excellent. Well, you got a lot going on, and I appreciate you spending a couple hours with us today. And
of course, I always love hanging out with y'all.
The OG Stomping Grounds is great. If you guys are watching over on Rumble, hit the follow button before you guys head out. Really appreciate it. And a quick reminder that we'll be live in about 30 minutes or so. Let's see, what is it? Probably about 1:15, 1:20 with Blabs versus Castlevania. Like, this is it. This is the last minute. Blabs is going to do it today.
Yeah.
There's that
Maybe.
confidence.
Possibly. Or next week. But most likely today as she takes on Dracula. Look at how excited Adam is. He's just like, all right.
Hey, no. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. I want Blabs to succeed. I want everyone around me to succeed. I want everyone to be a success in whatever they do. But everyone has to learn how to fail. And
I did that last week.
yeah. Thank you, Blabs. Yes. And I was watching last week, and it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched Craig in visible pain. I've never actually felt someone's pain through the internet before. It was a new experience. Yeah. Well, it was Craig who actually I got that from.
Yeah, you're welcome. Because of me, you got that experience from Craig.
Right.
Yeah.
So look for this thumbnail. It'll be up here in very shortly. This thumbnail.
I look like I'm gonna cry.
Yes, me too. And thank you once again, Drunken Emerald Ariel, for coming in as a member before we wrap up. Really appreciate that as well. Let's go with that. All right, guys, we'll see you guys in about 30 minutes for Blast versus Dracula as she does her best. What game will we move on to next? I guess we'll see once she beats Dracula.
Contra.
We'll see. But remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. We'll see you guys in just a little bit for Blast versus Castlevania. And Blabs, you going to do it?